those L's, I couldn't sleep right now. I get paid, vacay, I'm staying B-side. Breaking the blues over steak, I gotta eat right. You could be my peace sign. I don't need bad energy around me. I just need sun, you're so cloudy. I wake up good, you're so grouchy. Please get from around me. When the truth don't work, you start telling lies. Thought you were down to ride, you weren't down to ride. Caught switching, you were picking sides. Don't blink, caught slipping like a slip and slide. I was shooting dice till I got a nosebleed. Money on the floor, can't get cold feet. Took a L, should've put it in the offering. Lord, forgive me for my sins, don't know of me. Scary thoughts, I got scary thoughts. Lost control, now I'm taking charge. Breaking bills, friends breaking off. You could be the youngest, I'm the dawn. Kiss the ring, nah. In the scene like GOT. Stay awake, don't sleep.
It's fucked up. Just like you said, don't you see that you're the voice? You're the voice you were waiting for.
You're completely nuts.
Yeah, well, you make me nuts.
Damn it! I hate it when I do that. I freaking hate it when I do that. I was saying shout out to Christian Slater, shout out to Samantha Mathis, and shout out to New Line Studios for producing one of the best fucking movies ever made. Pump Up the Volume is like the best movie. It got me through the 90s, okay? It really did. It got me through the 90s. And I was just saying this a few minutes ago. And it's because it's so real and it touches you to your core because you know you got these kids and I will never quote unquote grow up. I will always watch my John Hughes movies and you know what I mean and my movies with New Line and the movies I watched when I was a teenager and a young adult. Why? Because it keeps me not taking life too seriously and not being so adult that I forget to lose my inner child. That thing that looks at something and sees it like it's new for the first time and looks at the world in a way that, you know what, I know we're going to make it. I know we're going to be okay. I know the human race is eventually going to pull their shit together and we're going to realize that we're all the same and we're all going to move forward and raise our consciousness. It's going to happen at some point. May not happen in my lifetime, and I'm okay with that. Just as long as I know it is going to happen. And we are on a trajectory for that. I got to give it up to the millennials. A lot of them are already have a raised consciousness. Gen X, we're the ones that started it. We're the ones that started that movement to raise the consciousness level. And of course, it really started way back in the day with anybody who preached that higher consciousness. They were sprinkled throughout society. You know, some of them were famous and some of them weren't. But there's always been people, hell, Jesus, okay, who preached freedom of mind. But Should I have said hell and Jesus in the same sentence? I don't know. She'll be damned. But you know, I I love that part where she said, "Don't you see that you're the voice? We are all our own voices. We are all our own voices, man." And when you start letting shit get to you that really, and at the end of the day means nothing. I had an epiphany this morning. You guys know I've been watching 60 Days In, right? And it reminds me of when I actually was, I had done 30 days for that suspended license bullshit. And it was like, it was like, what is happening? Why is it that, um, these people go in and they change? It's like they become different people, on the inside. It's like they become different people on the inside. And they don't know quite what to do when they come out because they have been institutionalized. They get in there and they start to live the life of an inmate and forget about the outside world. You know, they forget the outside world even exists. Why do they do that? Because they're really not left with a whole lot of choice. And I know it's like, I feel like experiencing that, and I don't care how much of a misdemeanor it was, I was still in fucking jail, okay? I still have my freedom strip. So I know what they're going through. I know what it's like. That was one of the best experiences I could have ever had in my life. And you would say, why the hell would you say that? Because it freed me. It freed me of all of the social stigmatisms, and it freed me of all of the. Now you have that in there. You have people who, you have clickiness and things like that, and you have a society within, but you really let go of the outside world and you're contained in this inner world. Well, you know what? I likened my body temple to that prison this morning. And I thought about it and I thought, when you really think about it, our essence, our spirit, what makes us, that je ne sais quoi that exists only within our skin and bones, is just like a person existing inside of a jail. And the outside world is your life situation, right? Your essence is you, which is you in its truest form, in your truest form. And the jail or prison, if you will, and I'm going to transfer that over because I don't like to refer to it as a prison, but you can't go anywhere. I liken it to a temple. So, but for the purposes of this conversation, it's going to be a jail, okay? Because I'm associating. At some point, you will be set free, right? Because you know me, how I deal with this whole innate fear of death that we all have, right? You have to look at it like you'll be set free from jail, really. Because when you are dealing, like when you die, you are no longer subject to the prejudices and the judgments and bills and the bullshit that goes on in this world. You don't get to participate in society anymore. Same way as jail. You're free, like to be able to interact with people is gone. For all intents and purposes, when you're in there, you are dead to the world because they can't touch you, they can't see you, they can't really talk to you unless you make a phone call out. So for all intents and purposes, you're dead, and you have to kind of live within that world, and they are dead to you, really. You can still think about your family, but if you're somebody who has a life sentence and you're never coming out and you don't get visitation and all of that, you're dead. Well, the same thing kind of happens with your body and your soul. You are inside, your soul is imprisoned in your body. And when you die, you let that jail go. You are released into the ether and you are all that you can be at that point because you're not limited any longer. Now, I know it sounds like I'm like, okay, bitch, go ahead, just pull the trigger. You sound like you're stoked about the shit. No, but I'm not fearing it because of that philosophy, because of that thought process, because it's not an end, it's a new beginning of freedom. The only reason we have a fear of it and we judge it harshly is because we're thinking like a human being. We're thinking like somebody that's in this body and that's it, not astral or spiritual being. We're not remembering that our true essence is who we are for real. That this body is temporary and that it will no longer exist at some point. And we look at that as a bad thing. No, no, it's like graduating high school. It's like getting out of prison. But in the meantime, that quality of life that you're living while you're in there is what makes being here worthwhile. Because you're going to get released at some point. So you might as well, in the meantime, have fun. That's what I did. When I went in, I said, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. And I am going to get released at some point. So while I'm here, I might as well not necessarily enjoy it, but not dread it either. Get to know people. Play some games of Monopoly. You can't do shit else. Play a few games of spades. Play some poker. Eat the 3 trays that they give you every day. Buy some commissary and just exist. And when you think about it in life, that is exactly what we are doing. Your life situation, which will represent the world outside that jail, is not you. Okay? So when you got bills going on and you got this person yelling at this, or something's going on with a family member over there, or something happened with the car over there, or whatever's happening, or Egypt just bombed Asia, or there was a tornado in Florida, or there was a snowstorm in Florida, some of the weird shit that's going on now with the weather, global warming, you name it. Okay, Black Lives Matter, any and everything, pandemic, whatever is going on in the world. When you truly realize that your essence is not experiencing any of that. Your body is. And just like if your body was in jail, you wouldn't be experiencing any of that. Really, think about it. Would you have to worry about going to the grocery store and touching something and catching COVID? No, because you're locked away. Yeah, if they bomb the world, yeah, of course you're included in that. But the things that go on outside, you have no choice. Well, what's the difference? Why do you let shit get to you now? Right? It's the same shit. You're locked away. Your essence is locked away in this. And what's going on outside, you cannot control. So why do you worry about it? The jail itself, you have no control over those walls and what goes on. Same way you can't determine and don't know when your body is going to cease to operate. So why worry about it? So the only thing that we could do is now, with that knowledge, live the best life that we can. And that is whatever that means to you. And the only way you know that is when something makes you feel all warm and fuzzy and giddy inside. That's what you need to be doing all the time, as much of it as you can for as long as you can, to keep you in a raised consciousness that will take you until you get released. Look at it as a release, not an end. Sucks for the people who are going to miss you, yeah, but eventually they'll see you in that sector too. Nobody's going to go on and on and on and on. So eventually they'll be released as well. And we'll all just continue to roll on and be part of the ether. Shout out to Vegan Knowledge, JJ. Hi, baby. Shout out to Rebecca. Hey, Becca. How are you, darling? I'm sitting there this morning thinking there is nothing worth getting upset or that serious about. Remember Bohemian Rhapsody? Nothing really matters. Anyone can see. Nothing really matters. Nothing really matters to me. What do you think he meant by that? He didn't mean it to be nasty or say that he doesn't give a fuck, but in a way he did. Knowing Freddie Mercury, the bold spirit that he is, and I say is because his spirit still exists. His body doesn't. Okay? Freddie Mercury knew. He said, listen, man, when at the end of the day, nothing really matters. So create, do what you can do, and then go home. Say what you can say that's going to make your day flow for you. Whatever you got to tell yourself. Because if you're lying to yourself, who cares? Because at the end of the day, as long as it makes you happy and makes you a productive member of society and doesn't hurt anyone else in the process, do it. Think it. Be it. Speak it. Because that's what's going to get you through. That's what's going to give you that immortality that in other people's minds, wow, that was cool what she said. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to run with that and live the rest of my life like that for as long as it lasts. It's so funny. Shout out to Velvy. I saw, I was going through her TikTok and liking some of her videos. There was one, and I don't know if any of you have seen this effect, but there is an effect that you can tap and see how you're gonna die. Morbid me, I love shit like that. Ooh, how am I gonna die? TikTok knows. I believe the TikTok knows. So let's find out. Jim was like, "You did it? You actually did?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not? Let's see how they think I'm gonna die, right?" So and Velvy said cancer, like, and I looked at a couple. You know how it's on the screen where it has the original, and then you can see other people have used that sound or that done that effect. And I did it. I looked at a couple people just to see what their facial expression was and how they went into the process of finding out how they were going to die, just to see how they handled it. And one guy was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, let's see." Let's see. And a lot of people would just end up just staring. Like this one guy, I felt bad for him. It said cancer, and I could feel his fear. I feel like I'm Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat sometimes. I feel like I take on people's souls sometimes, especially, I feel like especially since the eyesight thing happened, I feel like I can feel people. And I've always been like that. Blame it on the Native American heritage. I don't know. But I always feel like I can feel people's souls and I know what they're feeling. And it's so crazy because I looked at him and I'm like, damn, man, get free of that right now. Don't let it do that to you. Don't let it do that to you. Don't lose who you were 5 minutes ago. Okay? Don't let your mind run away with you right now because that's exactly what it's doing. So I did it. And it said chronic lower respiratory disease. Well, I could have taken that and legit had a panic attack, run away with it. Why? Because my mom died of COPD. Wow. That would be a chronic lower lungs, not upper respiratory, lower. That would be lungs. Okay. So I'm like, wow. Does that mean I'm going to have COPD too? And instead of running with that, I said, you know what? Let's take the power away from it. I'm not scared of it. I have no symptoms of it. I don't really buy into that. If anything, I thought it was, if it said cancer or heart attack, it might have fucked with my head a little bit more. But remember the fleeting thought that I said? If it's something that doesn't resonate with you, it won't jar a feeling. So therefore it's benign, right? It's a benign thought. The malignant cancerous thoughts are the ones that scare the shit out of you or piss you off or make you feel like you've met the best person in the world. It can be love too, right? We don't always want to focus on negativity. But it's like, okay, what do I do with that? I know what I'm going to do. Let's do it again. Boom. How am I going to die this time? Poisoning. Okay. Well, 2 minutes ago, you said I was going to die of a lower respiratory disease. Huh. Let's do it again. An accident. Oh, it's nice to know that I'm a cat and I've got 9 fucking lives and I'm going to die 3 different ways. I put it in its proper perspective. It's a fucking app. It's an effect. Just like a lot of shit that happens to you in life. Stop letting it take you down a rabbit hole. Cut that shit out. Okay? Move forward and know that nothing really matters. So you might as well be motherfucking happy. You might as well do the stuff that makes you happy and keeps you in a high vibration. Because you're only here for 5 goddamn minutes. Why are you going to waste time being pissed off, worried, any of that? Because at the end of the day, nothing really matters. Right? Stop eating shit and eat something that tastes good. If you're going to eat, if you're going to live, if you're not going to pull a trigger, if you're going to be here, enjoy it. And how do you enjoy it? You watch shit like this so that you can get up and say, fucking A! Yeah, bitch, preach! Okay, watch stuff like this. I do. When I'm working out, oh my God, Jen said, you made me want to go in there and work out this morning. And it's still a residual left over. If you can't tell, it's still a residual. I have not drank 1 cup of coffee. I have not smoked 1 joint. I have not taken any kind of drugs whatsoever. I'm on a natural fucking high. Why? Because we're capable of that. Switch the channel. Remember, raise your frequency. You can do that. Do it practice doing that. And you know when you're not there because you're not there. You don't feel like, oh, I don't feel it. Well, if that's how you are, then you're in a low frequency. You need to switch it up. Because one day you're going to look up and you're not going to have a choice. You're going to be laying on your deathbed. God damn, I wish I switched my frequency a lot sooner than this shit. Because now I don't have a choice. I'm not going to be here no more. You don't want to be that person. Laying there saying, damn, I coulda, shoulda, I would've, but nothing. If you are still here, then make a difference. And if you can't make a difference in anybody else's life, fuck it, make a difference in yours. Right? Because nobody else is going to do that for you but you. Well, my wife makes me feel great. Yeah, well, what happens if something happens to your wife? What are you going to do then? You going to go with her? You have the guts to pull the trigger and go with her in that moment? Would she want you to do that? Think about it. If anything, kick ass even more for her so she can be on the other side being like, yeah, bitch, you go. I'll see you when you get over here. So I can give you a big hug for that one. Because I know if I go before Jen, that's what I'm going to be doing on the other side. I said, don't worry about me. Sprinkle my ass in the ocean and just know I'll be watching. And I will be walking beside you until you come over here. And if the reverse happens, she's going to be doing that with me. I know it. I already talked to dead people. Oh, I'm really going to talk her head off if she goes before me. And don't think that way. I'm not thinking that way, but I'm being real, right? Because it's all going to happen to all of us. So we don't know. So you got to look at it this way and give yourself some grace and some peace about it. Because life is already, remember all the shit going on outside the jail? Right? You can't control that. All you can control is you inside the jail. Okay? You can be free before Die before you die. Eckhart Tolle says that. Die before you die. Shut yourself off to the bullshit. And sometimes you got to go be by yourself to do that. Do that a couple times a day so that no matter what happens, I'm not crying, I'm sweating because I'm like amped up. So, whatever happens, just be the best you can be for you. Velvy told a story of her husband when they first met, how he was an alcoholic, spending, $200-300 a week on alcohol. And he, I guess, realized at some point that she was his person. So he kind of took a step back from the relationship and kind of ghosted her for a minute. And he was gone for a while, but when he came back, he was well. He was sober, let's put it that way. And he told her he didn't do it for her, he did it for himself. A fucking man, brother. Because at the end of the day, if you do something for somebody else, what if that person's no longer in your life? Because they decided you weren't their person and they walk away. You did all this stuff for them. But at the end of the day, when it's just you that is going to release that body, because only you can release that, it's really, we're walking this earth together, but we're by ourselves. You do realize that, right? We are alone. We're with people, but we're alone. So you got to get comfortable with that. You got to learn how to be uncomfortable with the uncomfortable. Get comfortable with that fact. Get to know you if you don't know you. Because if you get to know you, like this morning, remember the whole heart attack thing I was going through last week? This morning, man, I was listening to my heart while I was working. I'm like, yeah, go, yep, woo! I wasn't scared of shit because I had this epiphany, right? I was enjoying my, now we can call it, instead of a jail, we can call it a temple. I was enjoying my temple. And I'm like, damn, you're kicking ass, Yeah. Age didn't matter, race didn't matter, nothing mattered. Because nothing really mattered. You knew I was going to do it again, didn't you? And when nothing mattered, I was free, dude. I am free in this moment. Nothing still doesn't fucking matter. How long this is going to last, I don't know. And I don't care. Because when it's gone, I'm going to reach like hell to get it back because I like this. I like feeling this way. I like the thoughts and the feelings that this is. Yeah, I can go through the rest of my life like this because then when the end does happen, I'm still going to be like, all right, peace out, deuces. Love you. But I gotta go. I see you on the other side. And it's going to be fine. And that's how it's going to be for you too if you learn to adopt that peace. And stop putting so much stock in something that doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, just enjoy your life and enjoy the people in your life. And if you're around somebody you don't enjoy, get the fuck away from them. Because don't let them bring you down. Don't let anybody steal, and that's what they're doing, stealing your joy. They don't have a right to your happiness. Only you can make your happiness. Nobody else can make it. They can mimic it. They can do things that make you smile and laugh and giggle. But at the end of the day, who thought that was funny? You made you happy. You noticed something else and it made you feel a certain way. So it's really you that are. You could have sat there. I watched a girl on TikTok a couple days ago, and Jim was like, "What are you doing?" I was just staring at this chick, and she was really pretty, right? So I didn't want her to think that I was like flirting or no. This girl, because I'm like, believe it or not, this girl has legit been on here. I'm imagining Jen because she was saying has been on here for like 45 minutes with a sign that said, "I will speak if someone makes me laugh." Fucking 45 minutes later, I'm still finding myself. That's how crazy TikTok is. I'm finding myself, nobody's doing it. could I say? Can I say? I started to get on there and say, yeah, bitch, your feet stink. How about that? I'm like, but I didn't do it. I think somebody actually got on there and did it. I'm like, would that make her laugh or would it insult her? And I thought too much about it. So I just chose to watch everybody else attempt. Nobody did it. I ended up just getting bored with it because nobody could accomplish it. And I think she cheated. I could see her. You're laughing under your fucking breath, I can tell. So I think she was cheating. So it would have gone on forever for that. Thank God there was no money involved. Okay. Because she would have been getting people's money left and right. Okay. But I thought, wow, people are really trying to make this girl laugh. I forgot how and why I started talking about that. But that was just crazy, dude. How what anything makes us go off on a tangent. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that was funny. Somebody remind me why I started talking about that. TikTok knows, LOL. They do. But I took the power away from doing it multiple times just to see. Now, like I said the other day, if it had happened and the same shit happened the same time, you know what I mean? It's a cancer, 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 heart attack, heart attack. Oh, okay. But if they were smart, they would figure out the way to do that. But and if it's the same person, make sure it says the same thing so they believe it. Jen said good because I spent too much money. Yeah, that's why I did what I did. So you couldn't do that. Yeah. Go on that TikTok, change that talks to the dead, and I'll tell you some jokes. Huh? Okay. I think I get that. Jamie, what is going on? Shout out to the JCREW. We are holding steady at 591 subscribers. Thank you guys so much, all of you that have subscribed and participate in my live streams and my sweetheart vegan knowledge JJ. Her meatless Monday streams are amazing. And if you're ever looking to become vegan, I can't wait. She's buying all that stuff that we made the other year, and we're gonna have a vegan Thanksgiving. But it's gonna taste like a Thanksgiving that we've had. Please tell me you bought sauerkraut. I hope you bought sauerkraut. Free your mind, and the rest will follow. Free yourself. Die before you die. Go through life and remember that at the end of the day, the only thing that truly, really does matter is your peace. Because that gets you through. Isn't it easier to get through something when you're at peace? Like we'll liken it to smoking a blunt. When you're in that high state, you're like, yeah, you're just kicking back. Huh? Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, well, reach for that in your regular life without the drug. It is possible. It's called being in the moment and realizing nothing is that serious. Nothing is that serious. And at that point, nothing can touch you. Nothing can destroy your happiness and your hopes and your wishes. And just go forward and make sure all of your actions align with what it is that you want for your life. All of your actions, everything you say, do, make sure it aligns with what you really want for your life. If you want to be financially free, learn how to be financially free and then take those actions. Don't just learn. Knowledge is only power if you apply it. It's no good knowing something if you don't use it. Okay? If you know that eating meat is bad for you, but you still do it anyway, then whatever. Because at the end of the day, nothing really matters. I should have named the stream Nothing Fucking Really Matters. Ooh, my stomach is growling. Woo! But it's cool. I like that. I like fasting. I like doing when my stomach growls when I'm on a fast. I don't like it when I'm not on a fast because then it's like the first thing as quickly as I can, I get to the refrigerator. But I guess normally by now I'm throwing something down, right? But when you go through a fast and those hunger pains, well, not pains, but the growling, the stomach growling, ghrelin. It's called ghrelin. The ghrelin is growling. If you go through 24 hours and then another 24 hours, like a 48-hour period, after all that doesn't happen. It goes away. And yeah, I'm like, you know what? After Thanksgiving, I'm going to eat to my heart's content today, tomorrow, Friday. And if I'm still here Saturday, I'm going to completely fast. I'm going to go on a 48-hour fast. I'm not eating shit this weekend. And I'm going to let my body just continue to digest and process what I ate for those 3 days and give it a rest. And then Monday, I'm going to go into one meal a day and I'm going to have fruit and a salad. And I'm just going to continue that well into the new year. One meal a day. And I'm going to kind of do a grape cleanse too. Because if you do a grape cleanse, which means you are eating nothing but grapes, because grapes they're very hydrating for the body, and they actually are very good to cleanse toxins out of your body. Who knew? And I know this is turning into a vegan stream, but who knew? This is a health stream, period. If you haven't figured it out yet, Jen and I are tag teaming you. I got your mind, she's got the body, and sometimes we switch. We are on her stream and we'll be talking about mind stuff because food relates to mind. What you're eating affects how you think. People don't realize that. It actually affects how you think. It affects your physiology, and your physiology affects your mental, and vice versa. So they just feed off of each other all the time. So if you're putting good shit in, good shit's gonna come out. But yeah, grapes apparently are very good for detoxifying. And if you check out this channel, Jillian Berry, she is really good. She has all kinds of people on there that are vegan, raw vegan. She's a raw vegan. And I love that channel. Jillian spelled with a G. I didn't put any links in this stream except for my LINKTREE. I did that to test it because I just created one. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to put my LINKTREE in and see if it actually points to it. Hey, has anybody figured out a way to, I think I figured it out, but I'm not sure. I was trying to add my TikTok account on there, and it will not, it points to an old account, which I should probably hold on to, but it points to an old account, and it won't point to my new one no matter how many times I share the link from my new TikTok. That's weird. So I had to take the TikTok off because I don't want to go into the old account. But I figured out last night at 4 a.m, I'm sitting there playing in bed on my phone, like, God damn it, why won't this do that? I let it get to me. See, but this morning hadn't happened yet. But I'm like, okay, I see what happened. I used my phone number for that original account. And I signed in with Google to create the second one. So it's off my email. But apparently, LINKTREE only acknowledges the phone number one. So does that mean the phone number one is like the ironclad true account? The email one is like chopped liver? Like, how does that work? And so I'm like, okay, well, let's unlink the phone number. And it's like, nope, we can't do it. We're not going to do it. We're not going to unlink TikTok, man. We're not going to unlink this. And I'm like, okay, why not? Okay, well, let's delete the account. And then I'm like, okay, great. Now let's go add the phone number onto the new one. But it said, no, this is already registered. How is it registered? I deleted it. Then I dug further and found out, yeah, if you delete it, it's not really deleted. You can reactivate it because you might change your mind. So we hold on to it for 30 freaking days, not a week, 30 days. So I figured that I'll go ahead and leave it deleted for the 30 days, and then I should be able to add the phone number into the new account because at that point it's long gone, and then I should be able to add that to my link tree. So, but that sucks because I like the TikTok account. I want that on there. So, if you see the link tree anywhere and hey, your TikTok's on, that's why. Ooh, growl, stomach, growl. Do all the growling you want. We'll eat later. So you got to discipline your mind. Fasting is a good way to help you do mental push-ups. I call fasting mental push. You know what I mean, Jen? It's meant because to you're hungry as shit, but if you nope, I'm not gonna eat. Just like TikTok, nope, I'm not
But
gonna
look
let you
at
use that
your
phone.
energy level right now. Like people think if you don't
Right?
eat, and if you eat the right things, you can eat energy promoting foods, but nothing like when you don't eat. Your energy is crazy.
Off the hizzy,
You can tell
off the chain,
when you come on and you've
off.
ate, I can tell that you haven't. You're fasting today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I can tell you're like a
Mm,
notch higher.
yeah.
It's like your
I'm
frequency
like,
went up. You went up a
yeah.
notch, and it's like it's wild to think that because most people think, oh, if I don't eat, I'm gonna lose energy, and it's like, no, you're actually going to end up with more energy. It's weird.
Okay, let's explain to them why. I'm a fasting guru. I love it. Because what's happening right now is my body is tapping into my fat stores for energy. That's how people who fast lose weight and lose it quickly and safely. My body legit right now is eating itself. Well, it hasn't started that process yet. Otherwise, I wouldn't have the hunger problem. So when that stops, that's your clue. If you try to fast, and don't do it for long periods of time if you don't have experience with it. But when you start that process, when the hunger pains go away, that means your body is gobbling up that fat. Fat is nothing more than stored energy. That's what it's there for. So you can use it for as long as you can until your body says, okay, that's enough. Put some shit in here. Okay. Are you outside?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm
I
inside.
hear menu.
She told you. She's like, no, she's in here. I thought I was on mute. I'm sorry.
Okay, quick question. How do I sound? Because yesterday I
It
listened to
sounds a
some of the
lot
shit and
better.
okay, I turned this mic around.
Usually
So it
I
doesn't
hear
it doesn't
it's
sound
not
like this?
bad, but like I heard static every now and then. Not everything you say, but sometimes on the stream it'll go through periods. I don't know if maybe you knock into it or something moves or the cord, but you sound perfect today to me since I've been here.
Okay,
Like
cool. I see where it's positioned, so I'm gonna keep it there. No static, no
it's
sounding like this, muffled.
no, it's perfect. Whatever you did, that must have been what needed to happen. You turned it around. Turn around.
Shout out to Jen. Nothing really, man. Shout out to Jen from last night. I had a ball with her on the takeover Tuesday. Shout out to Buddha 1000. She was there. Shout out to Rose Thoughts. Hope you're feeling better. Shout out to Jamie. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Janetta. Shout out to Becca, who is here. Shout out to Kim Turner. She was there last night. Um, yeah, we had a ball.
It was
We had a
fun.
ball talking about Natalie and Michael and all those 90-day
Crazy Natalie.
crazies.
So yeah, I tried to answer you on the thing. I got beyond. I was gonna go with the tofurkey sausage because I kind of like that in the sauerkraut, but I remember you said you'd like the beyond. So I got the original brat because I figured we wouldn't want like a taste in the sauerkraut. So I
Yeah,
got you the sauerkraut. I've got onions. I got the breadcrumbs, vegetable broth, celery to go in it. I got all kinds of stuff
cool.
for us
Listen, stuff.
to answer your
Nice.
question since
Well,
I wasn't up here.
I'm probably gonna start. Oh man, I meant to tell you to get some cake mix and some canned fruit because I was gonna make us a. Did you get butter?
Yes,
Okay,
I'll order
I was
that
gonna make us
then.
a crust. Okay, yeah, just plain yellow cake mix and whatever you want, like cherry or blueberry, you know what I mean? Just canned fruit.
Blueberry maybe. What did you
You want to
like?
go?
It was a different one. Apple. I like blueberry cherry. Whatever. I'm good with all of them. What
Okay,
do you want?
so
Pick which one you
two
like.
Didn't we mix it once? I think I did. I mixed cherry and blueberry. It was cool. Prince would have loved that because it was like a nice deep purple.
Tell the audience what a crisps.
Okay, so a crisp is nothing more than canned fruit. You take a pan, right? There's a good holiday
This
treat,
is
right?
not healthy, right? It's just good.
Not at all. Not at all. But we're cheating over the next
It's
couple of days, right?
vegan though. It's vegan.
And let's use the big pan so we can take your mom and them some samples of it.
Yeah,
But
we'll
get
bring.
two
They'll love it.
boxes of yellow cake mix and then one can of blueberry and one can of cherry because I'll make a big
Okay.
one and I'll mix it. All right. So what it is you take your Pyrex and you do I need flour? No, I don't think so. No. You
Becca, yeah,
take
that
your
was
Pyrex.
the cat. You heard her.
Yeah, that's menu. So you take the Pyrex, right? And you sprinkle a little bit of cake mix on the bottom of it, just regular yellow cake mix. Sprinkle it, layer the bottom of the dish with it, a thin layer. And then take some pieces of vegan butter. What kind do we get, honey?
Ever Earth Balance. I always want to call it
Earth Balance.
Everlast.
Country Crock makes one, Earth Balance makes one. So we use Earth Balance. So and cut a couple of pats, like a few pats of it, and just spread it throughout the cake mix, right? Then you take your fruit, and that layer creates a bed for the fruit to lay on, so it's not laying directly on the dish, right? So it can burn up in the oven. And you layer the fruit on top of that layer of cake mix and butter, right?
And you
Just put the canned
don't
fruit in
mix
there.
the cake mix up, right? You just put it
Don't mix
in.
the cake mix up.
That's the
Just
wild thing
don't
about
put
this. I
anything
couldn't
in it.
believe it.
Yeah, put the powdered cake mix just in the bottom and put some butter on it
Let's do a
and then layer the fruit.
TikTok and you make it.
We'll
And we
do.
can speed
We
it
will
up.
actually TikTok, right? I'll speed it up and it'll be cool. So I'll layer the blueberries in there and I'll layer the cherries and then the rest of the cake mix you put it on top because that's going to be like the pie part of it, the cake part. You know what I mean? So you're layering a small layer. Well, since you're getting two boxes, I might make it a little bit of a thicker layer. And then you're putting the fruit in the middle of that. And then putting the rest of the cake mix on top and putting some more butter on top of that. And just put that in the oven until that browns or kind of hardens on the top. Not brick hard, but hard where you can see it looks completely different than yellow powdered cake mix. It's got like a brown look and it's kind of bubbly and it's kind of hard. Yeah, probably about what, half hour, 20 minutes to a half hour, maybe 40 minutes
What is it?
based on
What
how much you're
degree?
making.
450? 350?
Yeah, yeah, 350. I would go 350 and leave it in there for like maybe a half hour. And if it doesn't seem like, because you don't want any more of the powder on top, you can tell. If it's still some powdery stuff on top, maybe a little bit's okay, just a pinch here and there, but you need it to be browned on the top, right? But if it's still powdery, don't take it out in a lot of spots. Don't take it out. But you'll see the fruit start to bubble up through there. And just make sure that the top coating is pretty. You don't want it rock solid, but because remember, it's going to harden as it dries, as it when it comes out of the oven, as it cools, it's going to harden. So you don't want it extra hard while it's in the oven, because then it's going to be a freaking brick and you won't be able to eat it. So, but yeah, if it's still bubbly and it's still soft, but it's like a crusty top, take it out. That means it's done, and it'll just continue to kind of cook and harden as it cools off. You're talking about something good.
It is
That's
so
like
good.
to
You
die
won't
for. It's
I could
very
not
sweet though.
believe that you don't mix the cake mix with it. Like that's what was freaking me out and I couldn't believe how good it tasted.
It's
It
so
was
good.
really good. And what was I going to say? Oh, and then the way that we're going to do the stuffing, right, is to do we got the bread, there's like seasoned breadcrumbs I got, and then we're gonna vegetable broth. I got mushrooms. Do you think they'll be weird if we put them in there? I've
No,
heard
not
people
at
putting
all. That'll be
oysters in it,
good.
and that kind of reminded me of it. So maybe we can
She
try a little
did.
bit with that.
And I wasn't
And
down with
then
oysters, but that was good. My mom used to make oyster stuff, and that was so
I
good.
remember her making that one time. And then what else? Oh, so we got celery to go in that, and onions. I got you some onion to go in it. I don't know if onion
Oddly
goes
enough,
in it.
you are breaking up. Not a whole lot, but you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I'm hearing a little bit of that with you. A little
Huh.
bit of
Let me see if
static
I can
going
do
on.
something different. Is that any better?
Yep, it's way better.
Car was going by. It really
It's not the
was.
cars outside, Jen.
It's vibrating the ground, and it's my connections are bad. But I really like. I'll stop talking about our vegan Thanksgiving. But I
It
just
is
wanted to
still
say
kind
I
of happening,
enjoyed
actually.
your. Oh,
But it's all good because it's not like I'm losing words. So go ahead. You're good.
I was just saying I enjoyed the stream, the message that you gave earlier. It was really cool. The I
Thank
was
you.
listening in the car while I was and it was cool because it's like I like what you said about all that matters is you. You know, nothing else matters. All that outside environmental stuff because we can get caught up in that and we can get caught up in our own head. But if you get into the moment and realize just where you are at that second, nothing really matters.
That was one of the best workouts I had because I wasn't in my head at all. It was like when you start to just feel your essence and just get inside your body. I did a checklist this morning. I'm like, okay, let me get out of my head and just do a gut check here. Do I have a headache? No. Does my mouth hurt? No. Do my eyes hurt? Are they blurry? Am I stuffy? No. Am I having chest pains? Do I feel like I can't breathe in any way? No. I have both my limbs. I have my both my legs, my feet. You know what I mean? Everything's working. I don't feel like I have a stomach ache. I feel good. I feel damn good right now. So, okay, let's go forward with that. And let's get a good workout in. And I stay and throughout the workout, I could hear my heartbeat just, and I'm like, yeah, man, you know what I mean? No, I was not in my head at all. I was just enjoying the moment. And you can get in your head and start, am I breathing too fast or what's happening? You know what I mean? Am I going to make it through this workout? And you can get into a panic attack. And you can do that with anything in life. You start going down a rabbit hole and you start thinking, oh my God, am I going to be able to take care of this, or am I going to be able to do this or that? And you start thinking of all the ways something can fail, and you can fail, and things won't work out, because that's what our mind is trained to do, right? So it can prepare us in case the worst happens. But again, it's pointless, because if you're in the moment, you realize that's your imagination. Whatever you're doing right now is what is going to happen. Because you
Right.
got to do whatever you want. You got to, everything that you're doing in the moment has to correlate with what you want to happen. It can't correlate with what you don't want, which means you can't be thinking about shit you don't want to happen.
However, like if it is your mind, who is it that's in charge? Like, who am I talking to? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I get right now that I'm completely thinking. It's like you have to also overpower that pain body, though, because when you're saying it, it makes sense. But at that moment, it seems real. Your thoughts seem real. Like when you
You
were,
know, and here's the thing, you have to adopt the knowledge and the mindset that it's just a thought.
yeah,
Because how, if you can't distinguish a thought from reality, you got a lot bigger problems than this stream is
exactly.
going to get, because it's a thought.
Right.
It's obvious. It's a thought. You're here. The thought is in your head, and it's not actually happening. You're envisioning something. That's it.
Exactly.
It's really just that simple. It's almost like, oh shit, woo, that was close.
Right.
And you realize,
Yeah.
oh, it's like you woke up from a dream. Oh, I'm actually sitting here. That's actually not happening. Oh, okay. Woo.
That's perfect. Thank you. I just
You're
wanted to
welcome.
figure out a good technique for that and for everybody that might be listening that can't get out of their head. But that makes complete sense because when you say it
Wake
like that,
up.
it's so simple. Right. Like, wake
Wake
up.
up. You're
That's a
dreaming
thought.
right
That's not
now.
real. Like, we can make up stories in our mind, you know? Jess said, this helps. I can't escape my head for almost a week now. Can't escape it. I feel you, Jesse.
You can, baby girl. You can. Just
You can do this.
remember that it is a thought and it doesn't have any power except what you give it. And then start kicking your own ass. Put your foot squarely up your ass and say, bitch, get over yourself. Okay? Wake up. You're in some weird thought pattern right now. Look around you. Is any of that actually happening? No. Technically, no, it's really not. Even if you're sick, right? Even if you're sick, because I know you guys have been struggling with some illnesses, you know what I mean? But you're here, right? So whatever that sickness was, have you ever heard the phrase "what don't kill you makes you stronger"? You're still here. It didn't kill you. So that means your body is more resilient than you think it is. All right? So you're here and you made it through that. And if you're still going through it, you're not dead. You're still experiencing it. So there's nothing to be scared of. Because if there was, trust me, you would be laid out in a fucking hospital bed with something plugged in you if it were that bad. So if it's not there, you're going to make it through. Okay? Just like you did every other time you were sick.
She said, said than done, mental illness takes over. Yeah, it's a strong, it's so
It
but it's
is.
like every time you do
But
it,
it's
every
really
time
that
you get
simple,
through it,
Jess.
it's like a mental push up, like she
Because
said.
there's
Like,
nobody more 50 shades of fucked up than me. Trust and believe that.
I don't
Okay?
know, I'm
Every
kind of
minute
close.
of every day. Okay? Yeah, we're all fucked up. So we get it. I get it, babe. I get it. Trust and believe I get it. Okay? I deal with it every day. That's why I'm so like amped up because I'm like, oh my God, for 5 fucking minutes, I'm not in my head. I'm going to enjoy this.
That's why I love coming on here, because for those minutes I'm not in my head. Like, I was driving home, I was trying to listen to this, and like it was literally helping as I was hearing you say it. Not that it could bring you out of it, but it will if you keep doing this and you keep
You have the
thinking of what
control
you
over that.
said.
I don't. You have the
Mhm.
control over that. The only reason that you can't pull yourself out of it mentally is because you think you can't pull yourself. You're in your head.
Mhm.
You are in your
I'm
head.
giving those thoughts power.
You are giving that power. The other day you said fear is a liar. Well, guess what? So are the rest of your thoughts.
Mhm.
So is the rest of the mental shit that goes on. It's all lying to you. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It matters in the moment.
If it's
Deal with it
interfering with
in the
your peace
moment.
and your happiness, it doesn't matter, because it can't matter, because if you're not in that moment, it's in your head. It's a thought.
And I'm going to tell you to like get with the subliminal because when you put that
Yeah.
on at night,
You
with the
know what?
stuff
I'm
that you
I'm
can't
gonna start trying
control,
to do that. Jesse, you
yeah,
should
the
do
stuff
that
that you
too.
can't seem to control, that means your subconscious mind has got a grip on it and it's not letting it go, and there's nothing you can do about that with your
Sometimes
waking mind. You know
it,
what I mean? when
what
when you're awake and your mind has its own thoughts about things, just like what you just said, yeah, but that's easier said. That's your mind talking. That's not Jess. That's your mind. Yeah, that's easier said than done. That's your mind telling you that. That's not the actual reality. And I know that sounds crazy, but in reality, it really is just that simple. But you have to know and buy into that. You can't listen to your mind, your gatekeeper, right now telling you that. And the only way to defeat that gatekeeper is to look, the subconscious mind is way more powerful than your regular mind. And when you get that on board, it'll be easier to, it'll be easier said than done. It'll be easier done than said at that point. Go ahead, honey. Were you trying to say something?
um I can't remember what I was going to say. It was something about what you were saying before, but now I kind of lost it. But I think you answered it in that whole progression right there,
Yeah, the
in what you said.
subconscious will help you
Oh, I know what
do
it
that.
was.
Go ahead, babe.
You're right. It is, because sometimes I'm really good at it, like
Yeah,
getting out of my head, or if I'm starting to feel like one of those kind of OCD things are coming on where I'm not on the right vibe or whatever. And I'm like, okay, let me do this again because I want to, you know what I mean? And
don't pay
sometimes
me
I'm
any
like,
attention either, Jess, because I'm having a good day, girl. I'm having a good day. Okay, so I am. I got my super bitch cape on today. Tomorrow I'll be you. Okay, so don't even get it twisted. I haven't figured it out either, but I in this
but
moment
we're
I
here
feel
to
like
help.
I have.
Yeah.
So
It's like, it's a thing of when you're looking at like that yin yang thing. Sometimes, you know, or when you look at something where you got to help each other out. Like if
Yeah,
you're having a good day and maybe I'm not, that's when, your super high frequency can bring us up. When I'm having a good day and maybe you're having a weird day, that's when my frequency can help elevate yours.
that's
And
when you
it's
need
same
that
with
coach to say,
Jesse.
get out of your own way. It's you, and you can
Mhm.
control it. You will never convince me that, it's easier. It is. You know what I mean? You control that, and you're strong enough to do it. I don't even know you, but I know you, and you're strong enough to do it. You know, if you're strong enough to do it one day, you're strong enough to do it every day. It's just a matter of habit, creating that habit of as soon as that shit hits, overcome it, get rid of it. Okay, here it is again. I don't care if it happens 50 times a day. Get rid of it. You may feel like a freaking basket mental case doing that with yourself, but you got to do what you got to do. Because again, you're only here for 5 minutes. Stop being miserable in that 5 minutes. Stop going through the shit. Because at the end of the day, what is it going to matter? You're going to go just like the rest of us. So, what difference did it make that you spent that time so much in your head that you didn't enjoy your life? Your beautiful kids that are right there staring you in your face, like, you know what? I'm not going to let you take this minute from me. I'm going to look at my daughter. I'm going to enjoy her, and I'm going to kiss her on her forehead and hug her. And I'm going to enjoy this moment.
Mhm.
Because in 2 minutes, it could just all go away. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to let that happen.
That's a powerful one for me too, like enjoying life, because I've always been a huge component of, if it's not, you should have fun, you should enjoy your life. If you're not in the moment that you want to be in, you can create that happiness in any situation.
Yeah.
And in that moment, when we're in our head or we're dealing with any type of mental illness and things,
Yeah.
it is you're not in your life at that moment. You're somewhere else. Your mind is somewhere else. You're on the future, the
Yeah,
past,
that's
or
that's
guilt,
where it
or
is. It's in your
resentment,
life.
or whatever it is. It's that circle of that whirlwind going on around you, that you have to be still and realize, okay, I am the root. I am the tree.
Remember the picture of the atom
I'm
in science
strong.
class? You've got the
Mhm.
little atom right there, and you've got the Saturn rings going around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what you got to remember and picture, that is your life. How do I sound right now? Because the mic dropped.
Good. Microphone drop.
Okay, microphone drop, baby. But you
Mhm.
know what I mean? That you gotta. That's life. But you gotta get in that space where you learn how to get yourself mentally right. And I'm Doxy, man. I'm like, wow, it can't be that simple. At least it was for me. I don't know. It might not work for somebody else the way that it worked for me, but I can't imagine that it wouldn't at least have some effect. Because when you think about it, at the end of the day, if you're a sane person, and even if you are insane, okay, even if you have spent time in mental hospitals or whatever have you, because I feel like I could have been committed sometimes. I'm serious. The way that I, you know, go about some things, it's questionable. But at the same time, I know that if I'm functioning and if there's something in there that's right. So I run with that. And when I get my moments of rightness, I try to take advantage of it and do the things that I know can make those right moments last longer and longer and longer and longer, until one day I'm looking up, I'm like, wow, I think I'm a different person a little bit, you
And
know?
the thing is, because we're all born as individuals, like we were not necessarily born with how we think today. Like
Yeah,
that part that you were saying about, okay, when you're on the inside, I think, were you correlating it to like being in jail or prison?
I was.
Yeah, like it was cutting in and out, but that's what I heard. And I thought that was such a good analogy, because that's like, everything that's going on the outside, or even in there on the outside of us, is all of those thoughts, all of those things going on, all of those mental things that we have happening, whether it's, whatever disorder it is. And anything that's ever happened is surrounding us, anything that we are thinking is going to happen, that's all on the outside. But what's real is we know who we are. We are inside of ourself, and
Hmm.
that, like, Eckhart Tolle says, you are not like your situation. You're not what happened to
You're
you
not
10
even
years
your own
ago.
mind.
Yeah, you're not
You're
even your
not
own
even your
mind.
own mind.
You
Because
are
think
just
about
sitting
it.
here, you're a being in this moment just
Right
trying to
now,
be here.
I could be mentally sitting down on the beach. Am I actually there? No. But I can put myself in that headspace. Well, if I can put myself in that headspace, the same shit is going on that's in a bad headspace. I'm in a living hell. I'm going through this. This is going on, that's going on, that's going on. And I'm overwhelmed with those thought processes and that vibration.
And I
And
think that's why you
you can
can't
pull
always
yourself out
swap
of it.
it from one thought to another, doesn't work long term either, like you said. You can think real quick, like, oh, I'm having a bad moment. I'm on a beach. But that goes away in a second, just like the bad
Yeah.
thought can
Yeah,
go
because
away.
you're
You have to
suppressing
get
it.
into the
You're not
moment.
dealing with it.
Right. Feel the bad
Yeah.
thought, then get back in the moment. Now, you can always think that you're on the beach after that if you prefer to think that. I mean, you can have beach pictures up and everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, being in the moment is really the only way to,
To
you know,
escape the madness.
escape the madness. That's why it helps to talk to people about the problem. Like, that's
It
why it
really
helps,
does. It
in
really
that
does.
moment,
These
even
streams
when
help
you
me so
feel
much.
least like talking to somebody, that's when you need to talk to somebody, I've realized. You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love that you're here for me to vent that too when I'm going through something like that. And I love being there for you to vent too. You know what I mean? And that's why I love doing these streams because people can come on here and it's a safe space that you can actually vent, you know? You can vent in the chat. Hell, I'll put the link down there. You can come up on the platform and vent if you want. I don't care about that at all. Okay, link. If anybody wants to come up and vent on the platform, you are more than welcome to, because that's what this is for. Call it group therapy, call it what you want. I don't care. If it helps you get through another day, then that's why I'm doing them because they help me get through a day. They help my wife get through a day. So if it helps and if it doesn't help, keep coming back anyway, because one day I might say something or we may talk about something that actually does help you. Or you may get up here on the platform and say something that somebody else can benefit from. It may be you that's up here talking and somebody else relates to it.
Mhm.
So we need more streams like this. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm on here every day because I'm like, damn it, you know what? We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna get up here and we're just gonna talk and we're just gonna be us. And if that happens to help some people out there, then so be it. That's what the hell I want to do. I'm doing some actions that make me the person I want to be, which is somebody who can help people heal mentally and physically and realize that they are in control and that they are stronger than they think they are, and that at the end of the day, we are all Neo. We can all fly. You know what I mean? We all have the power to take control of our lives. And if we don't, we can develop that power. That is learned.
I think that's
Everything that
what
you're going
I
through
need
is a
to.
is a learned behavior, and you can unlearn it and teach yourself how to heal.
Exactly. And that's what I think we need is techniques, because we can say it over and over. We can say, yeah, I need to get over this, or I need to get past this, or when this comes on, I need to just think it's just a thought. But there's got to be, the how, like the things that you're giving us, like, the subliminal messages, putting it on while we sleep. There's the, trying to understand ourselves. And first of all, identifying that that's just a negative thought. That's a thought that's coming in that doesn't mean anything. I'm giving it power, and I'm not going to give it power anymore. But then in trying to not give it power, sometimes it continues to take over, or
Try to
trying
be an
to
observer. Try to be an
be an
observer
observer.
of when that's happening. When
Right.
you find yourself going down a rabbit hole, try to wake up in that moment and say, hey, wait a minute, whoa. I am really thinking some fucked up thoughts right now, and it's causing me to feel this way,
And I don't
and I
want to
can't,
feel this
and I
way.
don't want to feel this way, you know? So then it's like, okay, so where do I go? What do
Right.
I do? What do I think about? And it's like in that moment, that's when you need to pull out the black wall and stop. Take a break. Because if you don't know where to go and if you don't have an arsenal of things that if you don't have your expecto patronum set up that you can go to and switch that thought and feeling, then you got to learn. I mean, it's hard. Hey, it's hard work. Nobody said this shit was going to be easy, dude. Nobody said it
Jesse
was going to
said,
be
I
easy.
can't come up for crying today, but thank you, ladies. I'll do my best. So,
It's it's you don't have to, girl. As long
yeah.
as you're here and as long as you're getting some healing and getting something that could possibly help you, if not today in the future, then that's all that matters, you
And
know?
you gotta let in the healing too. I know that we get,
Yeah,
like I
don't
said
block
this
it.
before. Remember when I was talking about back pain the other day and when it started to feel better, I almost
Yeah.
started twisting, like trying to see if wait, that doesn't, that doesn't hurt when I do that. It's almost like you get in a habit of feeling of dealing with mental illness, for example. You get in a habit just like you do of, oh, I wake up every day and I deal with this back pain. It was almost new to me. It was almost like I didn't know how to live without it because I had gotten
Right.
so used to living with it. So it's like you have to at some point decide that, okay, I'm going to start to heal from this and I'm going to let myself heal from this. It's like we don't say it out loud that, oh, I don't want to get over this, but we get in a habit. Our thoughts are a habit, just like what we eat is a habit, just like what we do every day is a habit. We get up, we wash our hair, we brush our teeth. That's a habit. Our thoughts become a
I got
habit.
tired
And
of it.
it's
I got
almost
tired
like
of it.
every now and then, especially people I've heard this that are dealing with OCD and like obsessive compulsive, they will forget. There will be little brief periods of time where you forget where you're really into something or you're talking to somebody or like if we're cooking and like, you will forget when you really get into something you're busy and those times are the times you need to run with, okay, what happened there? But now, if something, as soon as you think about it, like, hey, I had a really good day, sometimes that creates a bad day the next one because you're like, oh, darn, I had a really good day. Let me think. And the pain body's like, no, no, you didn't. Watch. Anything could happen. You probably won't have a good day tomorrow. Like, so you have to identify when that's starting to mess with you and say, oh, that's those habit feelings trying to come in, those habit thoughts. I'm going to
It's
get out of
good.
that so I can get back into my own space. I just was kind of taking different morsels of everything you say, and
That was
sometimes it
good.
gives me my own
That's
epiphany, you
good.
know?
I'm like, yeah, that's right. And as soon as it starts, and what helped me to get into a place where I was able to do that easier, because I know what you're saying, Jess, it's hard. And it was, dude, the PTSD was off the chain. And I got so tired of dealing with manic depression and just, I'm like, why am I fucking feeling like why? And I'm like, something's got to change. And I don't have shrink money. So something has got to change. So I just started going on YouTube and looking at stuff and subliminal. And I'm like, okay, let me try that. That just happened to be the magic bullet for me. You know what I mean? And I thought, I remember going through some time and Jen was like, yeah, you seem different. You seem like you're a little bit more at ease with things. And I'm like, wow, that shit's really working. I'm like, and it made sense because I was shut down. I was sleeping. And so I wasn't conscious when all of this was big. And you don't realize that it's actually working because it's hard for us as human beings to understand the concept of something working in the background a lot. Like, but it's like having an air conditioner on in the room. You know what I mean? And it's keeping the air, circulating and it's keeping the room cool. And you're not sitting there fiddling with it every 5 minutes. It's just doing its thing. You let it go. That's what your subconscious mind is doing. Like your breathing, you're not controlling your breathing unless you're meditating and doing yoga. You're not controlling your breathing. But breathing is something that happens involuntarily. Well, so is your subconscious. And that's what is feeding the bullshit to you. Until you go to sleep, put some shit in there that can retrain your brain to teach itself not to do that, because you're not putting thoughts in your brain of, oh, I'm going to do that. You're putting thoughts in your subconscious of how can I put this? You're reminding your subconscious that it has the power to change you. You're reminding it. And because it forgets, it starts on these tangents and keeps feeding you bullshit, and your conscious mind is feeding it, and they're feeding each other. Next thing you know, you're just all fucked up. And it's like, okay, when you go to sleep and start feeding into your brain, I am going to learn to let go of doubts and worries. I remember that I have the power to let go of doubts, and I'm going to move forward and have confidence in my life with whatever it is that I do. You know what I mean? And it starts feeding your subconscious that. And if you do it 30 days straight, and make it a habit, when you're going through your day, you don't notice it's like wax on, wax off Karate Kid shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like before you know, oh shit, wait, hold up. I know karate? Yeah. It's like Neo woke up from being in, he had the thing in his head, and he woke, I know Kung Fu. Because his subconscious mind was fed while he was the gatekeeper was gone. The cock blocker was gone. It was sleeping. Your mind was sleeping, and just got fed into the subconscious. Subconscious is awake, like, huh? What? What thought is that? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. And it starts eating it and taking it in. And oh, okay. All right. Okay. And it just keeps taking it and keeps taking it and working while you're sleeping and keeps taking it in and taking it in. And then the next day you wake up and you don't feel any different because you did it one day. You don't feel any different. You did it a week. You don't feel, but when you get into 2-3 weeks of that shit, 4 weeks, all of a sudden you're waking up and you're like, you think differently about something, or something's not messing with you that normally would. And it's like, hey, wait a minute. Normally that would set me off, but why am I not being set off? Oh shit. Really? Okay, then you're like, Neo, yeah, give me some more of that. Let me keep doing that because that's working. And that's what happened to me, you know? So, try it. Try it. It can't hurt. Okay. At the end of the day, it can't fucking hurt. Get yourself a headset. Go to Doxy Meditations. I'll put the link in here, or it's in other videos. And go there and find one that resonates with you. And just listen to what he's saying. It's like, okay, you know what? I think that's the one. I think that's the one I'm going to listen to. And so when I go to sleep tonight, I'm going to put that one on and see what this bitch is talking about. And I'm just going to do it for a few weeks and see what happens. And if at the end of a couple of weeks, I start to feel differently about some shit, or things I'm noticing a difference within, then hey, you ain't got to worry about me saying I told you so. I just want you to feel better. I just want you to be better. I don't care if I'm right or wrong or whatever. It's not about being right. It's about you feeling better and about you moving forward better. So if it works, fucking A, then let's keep doing it.
That's right. Whatever works, and it might be a combination of a bunch of things that work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's the thing. It's all, like I said, it's a process that we work through. It's trying to make sure that we feel good every single day and do whatever it is, whether it's this, and this. I have to,
Whatever works
um,
for you,
yeah,
you
and
know?
different things will work for different people, but there are some basic techniques that I've found from just doing a lot of reading that work for everyone. It might be little differences, but definitely talking it out, identifying
Not
the
doing it,
thoughts.
guaranteed, if you don't do it, then it won't work.
Exactly. That's the
It
thing,
won't
right?
work if you don't do it.
It's the
If
same
you
thing
do
I
it
tell
though,
people
and it
about.
does, look at all the benefits you're going to experience going through a day, and still maybe experiencing some of it, but not as much. And slowly but surely being able to deal with it better and better and better until you're like, okay, damn. Whoa, I went through some shit, man. I don't know what was going. You start to feel like your old self. And if that
Yeah,
never was you, then it's a brand new you, damn it.
right.
You know? If you've always been like that, then isn't it time for a change?
Right. Good point
Isn't it time to
there.
let it go?
Mhm.
Because you got to be tired of feeling like that and thinking that way. It's got to be. It's got to be. I mean, when you get to a point where you're suicidal, because it can happen, like I can't deal with this shit anymore. I gotta go. Or you do it slowly. Because some people, they don't pull a trigger, they'll drink themselves to death, or they'll do drugs until they're just gone because they don't care. I look at stories about Lane Staley from Alice in Chains. And it's like when his fiance died, he just really just didn't give a shit. They used to get high together. And then he just really, after a while, just like, oh yeah, I'm done. Whenever, and there's a YouTube unplugged where he's singing down in a hole and he's just singing a bunch of different songs, right? And that is like the best song ever, especially for lesbians. But down in the hole too, damn it, woo! And her name is Jen. But it's when you get to a place and this dude, he's singing. You talk about beautiful voice, but I look at him singing that song and singing those songs and then unplugged. And apparently he came in the session, he was high and all that. I'm like, that is a guy who has just given up, dude. And he knows he's dying. Look what just happened to Aaron Carter. He knew. He's like, I'm gone. And there's nothing anybody can do to save me. I'm just gone. And so he resigned to giving into it. And that's it. That was his choice. And he chose to do that. When I got into I chose to go the other way with it. We all make choices based on either you can deal with it and you can take steps to change it, whether that means getting professional help or self healing, or you just check out. But either way, one of those is going to happen. And since you're going to eventually check out anyway, you might as well enjoy your time here because you're going to check out anyway. It's like, did you think you were going to live forever? Did you think you were going to have to deal with this shit forever? No. You get released at some point. The jail, remember? You get released. But in the meantime, enjoy it. Have fun. Find something to be happy about. Find something to have fun. Find a way to get out of the misery because it's going to be gone anyway, and then you will have wasted that time because you were put here for a reason. So you got to get out of your own way so that you can be here for that reason,
And
whatever
you
it may
can,
be.
I mean, because it is, you can say sometimes it's all about yourself, but it's also, there are others that are involved and you want to
Yeah.
be there to help other people, especially if you're the kind of person that likes to help others and needs to be there for others.
Can't do it
It,
until you get
don't
you
let
right first,
one
though.
person or one situation not get you to a place where you can be there for so many others too,
Yeah,
you
and
know?
you got to get you right. You got
Yes.
to take a step back and be selfish now so that you can be selfless later.
That's good. That's good.
It's true.
Where do you come up with this stuff?
Ah, yeah. Nah, it's true. You got to get you right, and then when you're right, then the best you that you can be is going to be there for everybody else. You know, and and then then you'll feed off of that. You're gonna feed us. We're gonna feed you. We're gonna feed each other, and we'll be in this like kumbaya shit. One day the world will get to that point. I wish I would be alive to see it. Who knows? I may be. I may find the secret. Vegan living.
Mhm.
Go take ourselves out
I
and
was
go
gonna
live in
say,
the
you
jungle
know,
somewhere.
what you said, like, what's the worst that can happen if you don't try the techniques? You're gonna end up staying like
Then
that.
it
So
definitely won't
the
work.
problem
Right.
is the same thing I say to people when it comes to food is why I'm trying these techniques that you're giving me as much as I possibly can, and get my head around.
Yeah.
Because if it's like, okay, if you're dealing with a bunch of stuff and you don't want to take all this medication, it's like, what's the worst that can happen? You do it and you stay like you are. Okay, so if you go vegan for 30 days, it's like the same with the mental things. What's the worst that can happen if I listen to subliminal messages while I'm checking emails and getting ready for the day? Even if you don't want to do it while you're sleeping, if you put that in your head as much as possible, It's
It's
going
most important. No,
to
no,
do
no, no,
well.
no, no, no. I gotta back you up on that one. You gotta do it while you're sleeping. Otherwise, it's not subliminal.
Oh, right, right. Well, I
Okay.
thought sometimes, but if your mind's on
Oh
completely
yeah, have it
something
on as
else,
background. Hell yeah.
yeah,
I mean, have it playing, but it's
it can
got to
help
be
all times
subliminal.
of the day.
Exactly. It can. I listen to that stuff all the time now. Not
Yeah,
just when I'm sick. I'm like, shit, if I'm listening to it while I'm sleeping, I don't feel like watching the news and seeing what the hell's going on
yeah.
with
I think
dumb
that's the
shit. I
worst
might as
thing
well
you
put
can
that on
do
during the
is
day
watch the
too.
news because it's like
Yeah.
you don't want to. What
I
did he
can't do
say on
shit
the
about it.
Secret one time? He's like, you don't want to inundate yourself with news. You
Right.
can be
You want to be
aware of what's
informed.
going on, but there are
Right.
people that just sit there and watch it. And imagine all that mental anxiety and stress that has nothing to do with them, that really doesn't matter, that they can't do anything about
Oh my
what's
God.
going on 17, 100 miles
Jen,
away. What?
remember Cheryl with the with the
Yes.
she's got a and God bless her. I love her. Cheryl is Cheryl, but she called like the news station when there was the typhoon in
Or
Japan, and this
tsunami or
woman,
something
yeah, tsunami, and this woman's in Maryland. She's like, "Do I need to be worried?" That's somebody who,
is worrying too
oh
much.
man,
I thought I worried
it's like,
a lot, but that's worrying about like her safety,
yeah, it's like don't let
and
that mess. That's in Japan.
you
I feel bad for them.
but it's the same now if we correlate that to our thoughts, it's like she didn't have anything to be worried about, just like we might not have anything to be worried about that thought that's popping in our head that we think is, you know what I mean? Like that unwanted thought, like of worry, or am I going to be okay? Or, does this mean anything? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, wait, okay. That is a thought just like a tsunami in Japan that has nothing to do with us right now, unless you have somebody, literally a family member that you're thinking about in Japan right this minute. It's not going
Right,
to affect the water over here, you know, like
right.
it's raining in Colorado right now. I'm not feeling that.
Right.
So it
And then
has
when
nothing to
something's
do
going
with
on with you, Colorado's not feeling that. So, it's all relative. Only you know what's going on inside of you, and only you can do what you need to do, whether that be seeking something outside, or going internal and trying to dig deep into because the subconscious mind runs everything, okay? It runs everything. So if you tap into it, which listening to these things at night does, that's the only time you can do it. You have to be sleeping because you have to drop your consciousness. Okay. And it may not make sense to you. Well, if I'm not awake, how am I learning anything? You don't need to be awake to learn something because why? Your subconscious is always awake. That's why. And your mind is a gatekeeper. Your regular waking mind is a gate. It's blocking. Man, I don't know if I believe all that.
yeah.
Some of you is probably doing it right now, man. Yeah, it's cock blocking. When you're thinking that, go
Well,
on and continue to think that.
you know
It's
what
cock
helps
blocking.
me? Think about something that you try to tell somebody now that you would never have expected to work, or like for me, like I was saying, I can correlate sometimes the mental healing to physical healing because I had
Yeah,
no idea the effect that one like type of food could have on my overall well-being and my body and my allergies and everything. So I'm not, it's the same way I thought that was all bull crap before. Years and years I was like, oh, that doesn't mean anything, that couldn't help reduce my pain, I would have to have a pill for that. Like
I
literally I would
thought the same way about the
block
subliminal
that
stuff.
information, right. So now
I
I'm
thought
like,
that.
wait, I'm
I'm
doing
like,
that same thing when you started telling me about this, like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Like,
I don't feel like sleeping with a damn headset. What? Nah, come on, man. You know what I mean? It's like, how's that gonna help me? You know what I mean?
well, I don't
How is that
sleep
gonna
on my
help me?
back
But
though,
it
so that's
did.
what I don't understand how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna have to figure it out.
Well,
How
I
is
put
it?
the little ear pods in, and they don't, you get a smaller headset, or I mean, work it out.
Put
The
it out
ones that
loud
actually
maybe on
go
my
in your
phone.
ear,
Yeah,
that's easy. The ones that go in your ear are
I'll
easier
figure
to
it
deal
out if
with.
it needs healing.
Yeah, or if it's just you sleeping in a bedroom, Throw your TV on. If you got a Fire Stick, throw YouTube on your TV and listen to it. Let it play in the bedroom while you're sleeping. Keep it
Mhm.
on low so it's not waking everybody up. And if that's the way you got to do it, then do it that way, or put it, you know what I mean? Put it
Yeah.
on your phone and lay your phone, plug your phone in, put it on your phone and lay your phone next to your pillow, and you can listen to it like that. But you
Good
have
advice.
to do it while you're sleeping, because that's the only way to tap into the true learner and the true ruler of what is going on in your mind. And you have to do it for at least 30 days minimum in order for it to have any type of effect whatsoever, you know? And if it doesn't work after 30, then do it 60. It will eventually get in there. Because you can't stop, you can't control your subconscious. Okay? You may think you can and you may think you are, but you're not. Your subconscious controls you. So the way that you can control it is to retrain it. And this is the only way to retrain it. You got to do it while you're sleeping. And trust and believe that you will see some differences. You may not see all the differences you want, but you will see some differences.
I agree. And I think that when you start to see a difference, that's when you can build that momentum because then
Yeah,
you start to believe it. Like when I see a little bit of healing, it's just like, correlating it over to losing weight. When you start to see it come down, that makes you want to do that more.
yeah,
When you are start to feel like, wait, I woke up and I'm having a good day. I didn't have any, negative thoughts or whatever it is you're trying to get through. I didn't have those OCD moments today, or I didn't have a moment where I felt depressed,
yeah,
or whatever it is that you're dealing with. When you start to feel all of a sudden you go, hey, wait, that was a better day. I think this is working. And then you're going to keep doing it. But you need that motivation. You have to try it, or you're never going to
right.
be able to know one way or another. Do it, if nothing else, like we tell people about eating, do it so you can say, hey, Dawn, you know what? Hey, JJ, you were full of crap. That didn't help me a bit. Just try it for that reason because it's either going to
And
work
I would
or not.
welcome that. I'd be like, well, bitch, I
Yeah.
don't know what to do for you. It's like,
Sometimes you have to
but
do
you
things
know,
longer term, but whatever the case is,
because
whatever
each
gets you
person
to
is
try it,
different.
whatever your motivation is, try it. I don't
Yeah,
think it
it
can
has
hurt.
it has it takes 30 days to to create a habit.
Right.
So
So
that's
you
why
have to
you have to
wait,
do it
but
30 days. Yeah, and the more you do it, your brain will take it in, and you can't do anything about it because you're sleeping. So you can't do any blocking of what's being done to your subconscious. And if all you're feeding it is this training and this subliminal healing, then it will heal, and eventually it will, from the background, could start controlling what you're thinking and doing throughout the day. Like, wow, okay, I'm handling this much better than I used to. Something must be going on there.
what?
Like in my core, I just feel better.
Yeah. And what I was gonna say is like 30 days is a really good time, but like a lot of times this stuff it won't happen right away, but I notice a lot of things will happen a lot sooner than 30 days too. And the
Yeah,
minute it's like
all
you
depends on the
said, you
person.
can see a way out of that tunnel. You can
Yeah,
see a way out even if it starts a little bit, you see a little bit of improvement. You're like, wow, I can get out of this because sometimes it feels like you made it an exact analogy. If you are in your head a lot, you are in a prison where you don't feel like you can get out. And when you feel like you can get out, you're like, yeah, but it's like so many yeah, buts. You know what I mean? Like, especially with a lot of people that feel like, they want to have that control, which I think
that's because
OCD
your
is a lot.
subconscious is bought into what your conscious mind is telling it. And your
Yeah.
conscious mind is the one that's taking in all the bullshit.
For
That's why it's
example,
feeding bullshit to your subconscious mind. It's the one that's taking it all in while you're awake.
somewhere
So,
along the line, you made up all the stuff that you're thinking, so you just have to unlearn that and unthink that and convince yourself, which is you, that that is made up stuff. That is not real. That is not going to happen. If I don't flip this light on and off, or if I don't walk in and out of this door, that does not mean something bad's going to happen in my family. You know, that doesn't
right,
mean that
you
somebody's going
you
to get sick.
specifically,
Somehow my
right,
mind made that up. And
yeah.
so where did it come from? I don't want to think that way, but it's a form of control that my mind has saying I can keep people healthy. I can keep people from, getting hurt or getting sick or anything bad happening, or I can keep our life on a good vibe if I do this because I
Mm-hmm.
don't have that control. No one has that control. If you're religious, you believe God has that control. So the best thing to do is just pray that everything's going to be okay. But somewhere along the line, our mind wants to sometimes create that form of no, I am in control of this. I don't like thinking about the unknown. I don't want those things to happen. So I'm going to create a way for me to have control. I just kind
Mm-hmm.
of like got my whole head around where that comes from with
Yeah.
people with OCD. It's trying to create a way to make everything okay. And in the process, you're
Right.
driving yourself crazy, making yourself think
Right.
you have that kind of power,
Right.
because you
Right.
don't. No
You
one
really
does.
don't. You really don't.
Yeah,
The only thing you can control
is your thought.
is your thoughts, what you allow yourself to believe, and how you program yourself. And I'm here to tell you, you can reprogram
Just like a
yourself.
computer.
You can reprogram yourself. Clean it out. Get that disk cleanup going. You know what I mean? And defragment that shit and get it out
Mhm.
of there, And you can change it around. But it was so effective for me personally to, tap into this method because I realized that, I didn't have to go anywhere for it. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to sit up and listen to hours of something. I was able to do this while I was sleeping. I was able to change my frame of mind. That's huge because I didn't have to take any action but just go to sleep. And
Yeah,
the subconscious
the
mind
easiest
took
kind of
over
healing
from
there
there.
is,
Yeah, the
and that's because that's
subconscious
where
took
all
over
this
from there.
this crap came from.
Yeah,
Artists. It came from somewhere. It came from those files. So, like you said,
that's it.
reprogramming those files are what we need to do.
Your
It's just
mind
I'm
keeps
having an
sending that
epiphany.
shit back, and your subconscious is taking, okay, I got it. All right, I got it. I got it. I got it. And then before you know it, that is your belief system. That is what you work off of. That is you. That is what you own. It's not you per se, it's what your mind is thinking. But that is what you go through your day believing and thinking and going through. And that is what is going on with you. But when you begin to tap into something that you normally would, and trust you me, some of us have very strong conscious minds. Like some of us, our mind is so hell-bent on staying in the same frame and staying in the same craziness that it will wake up. Oh no, no, I'm not gonna let that happen. No, no, yeah, I don't want you thinking differently. It will wake up and begin the cock blocking process once again. you know and at some point when you go to sleep, though, continue to do it. Every time you go to sleep, even if you're taking a nap, put it on. Anytime your subconscious is what is at bay and you're consciously sleep, do some subliminal healing. You can't do too much of it, okay? Because we're already inundated with the bullshit. So inundate yourself with good stuff. Reverse it. Inundate yourself with good stuff. And you will find that you're able to deal with the bullshit a lot better.
Mhm.
Because ain't nobody gonna deal with it. It's still gonna be bullshit. Sorry. It's still gonna be bullshit there. That's not going anywhere. We're talking about healing inside of you. That's still gonna be there. But in order for you to deal with that in a way that it doesn't all this up inside, which it already has, but you can clean it up. And that way you can go forward and deal with that stuff in a way that, okay, this is what we're going to do about that. Worry
Mhm.
about that. I'm going to worry about this in the moment right now and take care of this. Okay, we're going to put that off and deal with this right now because this is more pressing. Before you know it, you are in control, dude. You're handling things in the moment. And then next thing you know, a year has gone by and damn, remember that situation that we had last year? Yeah, we got through that, didn't we? It's funny how it's a year's gone by and we thought that was the worst thing that ever that when we were going through it, but we're past it. Wow. Huh.
Mhm. That's how
You
it's gonna
know?
be.
Yeah. And keep picturing that outcome in this process. Keep picturing yourself being like, damn, that actually worked, you know? And then do the actions, do it. And make sure that that vision happens. picture yourself one day saying, I'll be damned, I actually do feel better. Because that's what happened to me. I'm like, wow, wait a minute. I actually do just, I, I actually really feel better. I feel good for no reason at all. I actually feel good. That must be working. Is that what happens? Like, okay, whatever. I don't know how it worked, but it must be, it has to be that because that's the only thing I've been doing differently. I've been doing this. He suggested, listen to this while you're saying, and I did it, and I actually do feel better. Like my head, I'm not swimming in that bullshit as much. It's still there a little bit, but I can kind of deal with it
You
a
can
little bit
see the
better
way
now.
out.
You see the light at the end of the tunnel, you know?
Hmm.
So, but we've been on here like a long time, so I'm gonna go and let you guys marinate on that. And yeah, and Jess, if you need to reach out to me one on one, send me a text, you know what I mean, or call, do whatever, you know what I mean. I'm here,
Definitely. We are here for you. And
Yes, yes, we are.
and everyone should eat bananas because I read they're good for mood and depression too. So eat some
I'm gonna
bananas.
eat.
Give
Did you
us a
get
call.
bananas?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat me a banana bread man. Look, we had this banana one time, and I like peeled it right so that it was
We
folded
still
up,
have the
and it looked like
picture. We'll have to
dreadlocks,
put it on.
right?
But
And
yes,
I took the marker and put a little face on there, and
she
it looked. I
also
put a
made
little
John
beard.
Lemon. Remember him?
Yeah, John Lennon. Put some glass. I got a poster of John Lennon on my woman. I'm a Beatles and John Lennon fanatic. But I put some glasses on a lemon and nose and like a little line because he didn't have any lips. And I said, "Look, Jen, John Lemon." But no, it's like every time I hear banana, it's like I think about banana bread man. Yeah, because it looked like dreadlocks hanging, and I put the little Fu Manchu and a little thing here, and it looked like Bob Marley. The banana did. It was funny. It was funny. It was funny. It was funny. You had to be there. Okay. But other than that, I hope this helps any and everybody that listens to it, whether it's on the replay game, whether you listened in the chat. If anything we said today helped you, remember, I'm not a healthcare professional. So if it did, then it's a win. It's a W. That works.
She's better than a healthcare professional.
I do have
She's
my
got her
link
own
tree.
experiences.
I have my link tree in
Better
the
than books.
description of this video. So if you want to DM me on Instagram, and then it's there. Twitter's there. So yeah, honey, you got anything else you want to say to our awesome J Crew?
Not much. I just want to say that I know that this time of year is even more difficult
It
for a
is
lot of
holiday
people.
time is the worst, man.
So whether it has to do with being around family or not being around
You
family,
know
or
what? No,
whether it
no, no,
has
no,
to
no.
do with
I'm
stress,
sorry.
anxiety.
I don't mean to cut you off. I said holiday time is the worst. I'm not going to claim that. I'm not going to claim. See, that's fucking programming. Why did I say it's the worst? Because, yeah, that's when you start feeling family and stuff and you start going through stuff. But it's the worst because we allow it to continuously be the worst. We can change that. And it starts by stopping saying stupid shit like that, because then you're buying in. So, anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's all. I was just gonna say whether it has to do with, maybe if you have like germ issues, like somebody might in this house and having to go around people, or you have just anxiety about
Yes,
whole
got your
thing
anxiety
about
about it.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, all the holidays. There's a lot of pressure that's outside pressures that if you already deal with a lot of stuff in your normal life, and then your swirling world around you is dealing with a lot more, you might be around people that you're not used to being around. Whatever the case is, it's just everything is still the same. The techniques are the same, and you just have to like when you're doing push-ups, just got to do a little bit more is what I
Do
think
mental
I'm
push-ups.
finding during those times. So we definitely here if you need us, and well,
Always.
I'm the one in therapy, but if we need you, you
Guys,
are
I
my
love.
therapist,
Well, you're my therapist.
right? So we can just join
Just
therapy.
know that you are loved and you're thought of and you guys are cherished, okay? And remember, beyond the shadow of a doubt, at the end of the day, love yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of you, because nobody else is going to do it like you're going to do it. Okay?
And this will
I
end
love you,
whatever
sweetie.
it
Thanks for
is.
being on
It
here.
will pass and you will get better. It does.
Always.
Thank you for having me. I'll see you
Thank
soon.
you for being here, babe.
Go
Yeah.
pig out.
Which is
Is
cool.
it tomorrow is a stream or are you taking the time off?
Huh? No. Are we going to be, you know what?
I mean, you can still do it because we can always go
Yeah, I'm
after.
gonna do it. I'm gonna do
Okay.
it. Because what am
Yeah.
I doing? Am I lifting boxes? Am I doing manual labor? No, I'm just talking to people. So if anything, I'm gonna wish people a happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm coming on here. 12:30
All right, cool.
mañana.
I will be here
Look,
with
healing
bells on.
doesn't take a holiday.
There you
Okay?
go. Healing takes
Healing
no
doesn't take a day.
holidays.
No days off in this thing. I know I'm a sailor. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. This was
Have
a
a good
bad one.
evening, everyone. I'm going to
Peace.
run to the bathroom. See ya.